Naples, the beautiful city on the beach, beautiful historic district, a beautiful pier, some of the most beautiful beaches. Some of my friends even say that Naples is the most beautiful city in the world. I don't agree with them at all. I don't think it's even the most beautiful city in the state. But anyways, what a beautiful place, beautiful beaches, lots of wealth. Why would somebody want to move away when there's so many people moving in? So in this video, we're not going to talk about the reasons why people are moving into Naples. There's a lot of that on the internet. We're going to talk about the reasons why people are moving out, especially people like myself who have lived in Naples for so many years. So I hope you enjoy the video, and let's get right into it. Did I even mention the weather, the fact that it doesn't snow here, and yet you're close to the Everglades for fishing? I mean, there's so many good reasons to live here. The number one reason people are leaving, going away from Naples, Florida, has to be development. Development has absolutely changed the face of Collier County, Naples, Florida. It just isn't what it used to be. Development has made so many things that we used to love about Naples not exist anymore. And let's not even talk about the people that have came with the development. We're just talking about the development itself. It seems like everybody wanted a piece of paradise, and once everybody got a piece of it, it wasn't paradise anymore. Everything has changed. This used to be a small city with a small town feel. We used to call it Nappy City. You can definitely not call it Nappy City anymore. Now there are structures, there's buildings, there's old people, nursing homes, and giant communities in places that were empty lots, and we can't get that back. It's the number two reason people are moving out of Naples is it's not for the poor. This place has become for the rich and for the rich only. And actually, people that are somewhat well off are still not able to make it because the housing has become so unaffordable. And I don't want to hear that back in Connecticut a house would have been twice as much, blah blah blah. Salaries in Florida pay very little, and housing has become very expensive based on the salaries, so therefore it's definitely not a place for the poor. And a lot of people have moved out of Naples for that reason. And if you're thinking about moving to Naples, definitely, if you don't have money, don't even consider it. There's no future here. And I've never seen a poor person in Naples become wealthy. Everybody brought their wealth from somebody somewhere else. They came with the money already. I don't see a lot of people who actually make it here like you do in other places where they start a small business and it grows. This is not a place for that. This is a place where people already bring their money. The money's already been made. So if you're a regular class person, not only don't think that these people, because they're rich, are going to pay you better. They may use more services. Maybe they buy more things, but they are definitely not more generous. In fact, I've noticed working for people that if you go work for regular class people, they pay you good and they'll give you a tip. You go work for these houses on the beach, etc., and they are as stingy as they could be. Even though they have a lot of money, they sure don't want to give it to anybody else. So they have a double standard. They want everything good for them, but they want the absolute worst for everybody else because they don't pay you right. They'll be willing to spend thousands of dollars on makeup and products they don't use, but they don't want to give you a tip for your hard work, and that's one reason this is not a place for the poor. And I've noticed over the last few years that neighborhoods that used to be, let's say, a mobile home community, a community that was just mobile homes, they used to be single family homes. Over the years, those mobile homes become duplexes, and then somebody starts to live in the shed too. So the situation, the housing situation for poor people in Naples and Collier County has actually gotten worse. And there's entire communities that will manifest to you that the housing situation and living conditions for the poor in Collier County has gotten worse. Neighborhoods that used to be single family homes are now duplexes, and if they're, structurally a single family home, they're renting out the garage. Look at the entire city of Immokalee is nothing but rental units. A single family home in Immokalee there'll be 15 people living in the property. So definitely, when you moved to Naples 20 years ago, communities that were single family homes are now somebody's living in the garage and somebody's living in an efficiency. So the poor people have actually gotten poorer in Naples. And definitely, if you are poor, this is not a place for you. It's a place for the rich. So, moving on to number 3, discrimination and class. They think because they have a little bit of money, they're better than you. My first day in class in school, immediately, now I came from Louisville, Kentucky, which is a normal city with normal people. As soon as I stepped into the school system in Collier County, my shoes were not name brand, my clothes was not from the mall, and I didn't fit into their model or their concept of what a young child had to be. And that was 20 years ago when I first moved to Naples. In the schools, young children were already discriminating me based on the fact that I wasn't rich like them. And they've grown up, now they're adults, and now they really think they're better than you. And the people that have come down from other states, New York, Colorado, they have really brought this mindset with them that they are better than other people and they need to be separated from other people. And discrimination is really a problem in this town, to the point where you cannot be who you want to be. You have to talk a certain way, you have to dress a certain way just to have employment, to have economical mobility. You have to really be somebody you're not. And in the last, let's say, year, I have just quit on it. I've started talking normal. I used to talk like the rich people and try to dress in uniform, and I got sick and tired of it. I dress however I want. I go to my job sites wearing my Crocs and my swimming shorts, and I talk the way I talk, and if they get out of line, I put them back in line, and I have just gotten sick and tired of discrimination. Basically, these people forget that you may have money as well. I've been here for 20 years. If you've been here for 20 years and you don't have something, then you're definitely doing something wrong, because it is easy to make money. There is a lot of money moving, and a lot of these rich people are going to encounter that services are hard to obtain, and they complain about how hard it is to get people to work for them. Well, if you pay them right, it's not a problem to work for you. The problem is people have kind of gotten used to treating people like servants, and this is not a new problem in this country. If you go back to right after the Civil War, the Irish had their little cliques. They treated the black people horribly. All the other Europeans treated the Irish people horribly as well. So this is not a new thing in this country. It's ingrained into the people in this country, and they can treat people who are not of their class differently. So that is definitely a problem you're going to run into here in Naples. In other places, it doesn't really matter what race or what you are. Here, it's very well defined. The Hispanics do the construction, blah blah blah, etc., etc. You can't be yourself. You can't drive a car you want. You can't really be who you want to be. You have to be this refined person in employment everywhere you go. And I personally just got sick and tired of it, and it does affect your economy. So that's another thing to consider. You really got to fit the social economic boundaries of this place. Otherwise, it's even going to affect how you make income. Number 4, transplants. You don't see too many people anymore who were born here, who are local. All the local people have gone, like I said, to Carolinas, North Florida, Georgia, other places that are more down to earth. These people don't respect anything, whether it be our beaches. They didn't go to school here to learn about our ecosystem, about our animals. They have no respect for anything that's Florida, and they bring all their little up north little things with them. Their lack of, they're from big cities. They think this is wherever they came from, and it's not. Florida is a small place, small little towns, and don't bring your garbage with you. Transplants are a huge problem. They don't want to change, and a lot of these transplants are snobs. Now, snobs is something that even I've become snobby. Everybody that's lived here for a while becomes a snob. You will become one, or you are a snob. If you are a snob, then you probably drive a Bentley while sipping Starbucks, living in a private community, playing golf, and you don't have a real job. You have passive income. That makes you a snob, and I think I fit that category other than the Bentley and the private community. And I don't play golf. But anyways, there are a lot of snobs, and this kind of fits into feeling like they're better than you, and it's just dealing with them. They'll cut you in line. Remember, this was a southern state with southern hospitality. There was a lot of southern hospitality in Naples. In traffic, you would see it. Not anymore, of course. But this was a southern hospitality place. This was a place where people were friendly. Now they'll cut you in line, and hey, we're better than you. I mean, I've had people. What am I going to do if an old lady cuts you in line? And that's the problem, too. There's so many people. There's too many people, to be honest. Traffic is a problem. There's places like the villages where they really developed their community. This place was not developed with properly. I mean, look at the city of Lehigh. What's going to happen to this? You feel like you're stuck all the time in traffic. Look at the city of Lehigh. It's like, imagine when Lehigh, it's going to be like Hialeah when Lehigh actually develops and becomes a big city, because they're not laid out to, there's more empty lots than there are houses. And when those houses get filled up, what's going to happen with all this traffic and stuff? It's going to be a nightmare. It really is. I don't know what's going to happen here with traffic. It's definitely going to be a problem because there's no proper infrastructure. A lot of counties are doing a great job, like Citrus County in North Florida. They're really planning their growth. Here, there is no planned growth. There's just growth. And, well, it's not going to work out right. I can already see places like Lehigh, no major roads. It's going to be a problem. It's already a problem if you live in Lehigh. Commute times are horrible, and it's going to get worse. Then you have crime. Now, they like to brag about. I was just watching a news report today about Fort Myers. They had a huge drug bust. They arrested a bunch of people. And the news reporter was like, well, you arrested 100 people, and you only had like 10 pounds of drugs. That's not really a lot of drugs off the street, basically. Something like that. The news reporter really put these people on the spot because they're saying, oh, it's safe, it's safe. It's not safe, okay? Drug use in Collier County is very, very high. In other places like Philadelphia, you can say, oh, we have neighborhoods where you can tell people are on drugs. You cannot tell people are on drugs because they have money. So they're not going to go rob your CD player for $15 to buy crack because they have money. They can afford the drugs. So drug use is a problem. Drug overdoses are a problem. In nearby Sarasota, it is absolutely horrible. And they have a better economy than we do here. Yet, drug use is very high. It's very prevalent. And because there's money, it's really hard to notice it. Like as I said, it's not like in poor places where people go and do crime because they're on drugs. No, here people can be complete drug addicts and they can live in a condo next door and you're never going to notice because they're not going to steal from you. They don't need to steal from you because they have money. So the fact that there's wealth kind of hides the fact that there's a huge drug problem. And it may not lead to other crimes, but there's still a bunch of people doped out everywhere you go. I have not had a friend murdered, but I have had a lot of friends die from overdoses since I was in high school. So I do know the feeling. And there is a problem here. And nearby Sarasota has put out some statistics that are very shocking. Hasn't happened so much in this area. But if you look at Sarasota nearby, the statistics are very, very dim. And it's part of the package we're dealing with here. Number 8 is the rat race, the 9 to 5 rat race. You really got to keep up with the Joneses here or whatever. And it's hard. It is 9 to 5. A lot of construction work. I have a company. And there's hurricanes. And then you have even more work. It's not easy. The rat race is real here. The 9 to 5. The traffic. It's like living in a large city. Even though it's not a large city. You can really get caught up in it. And even if you live a pretty good lifestyle with money, there's so much money to be made that even if you're not needing it, you'll still get caught up in it. So, number 9 is equity. Some people are just like, hold on, now I bought this house for $600,000. Now it's worth $800,000. I can make $200,000 and walk away from it, and they do that. So a lot of people just move out because they bought the properties a lot cheaper. Some people actually lost money, but a lot of people made money. A lot of people who bought houses like in the 90s, early 2000s, yeah, they made a lot of money. And their properties are worth a lot more. A property that is worth $500,000 in Naples would be worth $200,000 in North Florida. So that's $300,000 they have to add to their retirement. So it totally makes sense. And they're kind of fed up with the development. and they want to live a little bit more quiet of a lifestyle, and I don't blame them. Naples used to be a place of retired older people, and it slowly became gentrified from the old people, and now you have a lot of young professionals, is what I like to refer to them as. I don't know what the word professional fits into, considering that most of them are just living off of, I don't know what they're living off of because I don't see them working in the workforce. But anyways, you get my idea. They're tired of it, and they got equity in their homes, and they sell, and they're out. And I don't blame them, not one bit. And number 10, the last reason is real estate. People just bought here as an investment. And they had absolutely no other goal in mind. They had no interest in this area. They just bought because they thought it was a real estate investment, and now they're taking their money elsewhere. I've met customers who, over the years, they move a lot, and I asked them, hey, why do you guys move so often? They're like, well, we bought this property for $1.3 million, and now somebody's offering us $1.6 million, so we pay taxes, blah, blah, blah. We still make $300,000, and that's a crap load of money, and they grab that money, and they put it towards another house that's cheaper. So I've noticed that people are just constantly flipping back and forth. So a lot of times people are just moving for real estate, and they're making a lot of money on it. Properties here in Naples, like let's say along the beach, are in the millions of dollars. Those properties would be worth $200,000, $300,000 elsewhere. The value is just in the proximity to the Gulf. And I'm really concerned personally that one day there'll be another natural disaster like the red tides. There's so much natural disaster going on that, to me, even though the appreciation value of that real estate is very good, if you're looking into real estate, the cheaper the real estate is, the faster your return is. The more liability you have, more risk you have. A lot of these people are buying properties that are in the millions. They're making millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars just off the equity. Basically, the appreciation of the property because of its proximity to the Gulf or whatever. But just like they can go up in value, they can also go down in value. So there's risk no matter what. But what's happening is that a lot of these natural disasters, things have really changed. There's more people. There's a lot more risk than in the past. And the value of these properties is subjective to what people think it's worth. Therefore, a lot of people are just getting out of it. They bought for real estate, their money's made, and they're gone. And that's kind of the story of this town and how it's become so expensive. And now you have people coming from Connecticut, New York, California, where the real estate is so much more expensive that even though to the Florida person working, the average person working, these properties are expensive, people coming from California think the real estate here is affordable because in comparison to where they're coming from, real estate is more expensive. So they've already made their money. So these people are driving the prices up for the local people and competing for real estate with people who have absolutely no possibility to make it. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is, if you're thinking about moving to Naples and you're bringing money, that's fine. But if you're a working class person, this is no place for you. And that's why we're considering moving out of Naples. And these are the reasons that why I'm moving out of Naples soon, and why a lot of my customers have moved out. And a lot of my customers are very well off. They're still making the move because it's so much more economical, and what you're getting for your money just isn't worth it for them. There's still a really refined aspect of, group of social people who prefer that environment, but a lot of people are down to earth. They're like, you know what, our money goes so much further somewhere else. This is Jose from Florida Hood Blogs, and I hope this video can educate you a little bit if you're trying to move to Florida or Naples, or if you're just moving around the state, whatever. I hope this video is good information for you. If you're looking for affordable places, you're in Naples, and you're like, where do I go? There's a lot of great places. There's Citrus County in North Florida. There's St. Mary's in South Georgia. They're along the Atlantic coast, so it doesn't get too cold there. There's Dixie County. There's so many, and that's here in Florida. There's Levy County. There's a little bit of everything for everybody. The Village is just a lot more affordable. So if you're older and you like golf, you like the retirement, but you don't want to spend all that money, the Villages, it's just like Naples to me. The houses, the buildings, the roads, it's all really nice. It's a little colder, but I like the cold weather personally. It's not ridiculously cold. It gets colder, but but it's a nice little place. And if you like the golf, you like that retirement, you're older, and you like those type of things, the Villages is really affordable. And there's a lot of stuff to do. It's perfect. So there's a lot of stuff in Florida. There's a lot of stuff in South Georgia. One of the places that my customers have moved to the most is definitely North and South Carolina. It's affordable. It's got its negatives. There's some parts of the Carolinas I personally do not like, but there's other parts of the Carolinas that I think are great. So it just depends on a particular town or whatever, but that's where my customers are moving to. Mostly moving to Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. That's where a lot of my customers are moving to, and I know because I help people move and move stuff for people, haul stuff for people. That's what I do for a living. So I do get a lot of a feel for where people are going, what they're doing based off my clients. And definitely North Florida. A lot of people from Naples are moving to North Florida. Some areas I don't like too much in North Florida, but hey, travel a little bit and find what works best for you. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Again, this is Jose, and I hope my videos were useful to you. Make sure you share them with friends who could use the information. Have a beautiful day, and that's it.